Hi guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on the bareMinerals BarePRO liquid foundation. The foundation looks like this. It comes in a glass bottle and it has 1 fluid ounces. I'm in the shade Honeycomb, which is a little bit light for my skin tone. If you're ordering online, I would probably order a few shades darker. I would say maybe like 2 to 3 shades darker. So I'm going to start off by shaking my foundation. I do this with all my foundations just so the product is well blended. So I'm going to apply 1 full pump to the back of my hand, and I'm using the back of my beauty blender to start applying the foundation on my right side. I use the beauty blender for all my foundations. I rarely use a foundation brush, but I just wanted to give a fair comparison between like using a beauty blender versus a foundation brush for this foundation. So first thoughts as I'm applying foundation is that it smells really nice, but it's drying up like really fast. So let me just work a little faster in applying it on this side. I wouldn't dot it like around the face because I feel like by the time you get to another part of your face, it's going to be already dried up. Also, I'm filming in front of a window with natural lighting and the sun is coming like in and out, in and out. I apologize for that. So this was 1 full pump and I felt like 1 was enough for 1 part of my face, which I'm like confused about because usually when I use like other foundations, 1 pump would go a long way. Like it would cover more than 1 area, but I feel like 1 was what I needed for just this cheek, so I need another pump for this cheek and then the rest of my face, I guess. Like, I don't know, we'll see. So let me just get another pump onto the back of my hand, and then this time I'm gonna use trying to see, do I want this brush or this one? I think I'll use this one because it's flat, and I'm just gonna dip it into the foundation and start applying it. I actually think I like the application more with a brush. Okay, so my initial thoughts, I'm actually really surprised that I like the coverage more with a brush because like I said before, I use my beauty blender for all the foundations that I have and that I use. I rarely use a brush, but in this case, like it almost appeared flawless. I still have a little bit left, so I'm just gonna finish that up. The only thing is, like I said before, is that I still needed 1 full pump to cover like 1 section of my face. When I use foundations, I almost never use more than 1.5 pump, like maybe 2 pump the most, but I already reached my 2 pump capacity for this foundation, so the fact that I would even need a 3rd pump is kind of questionable because like why it's using up the product. So I'm thinking like, if I'm using 3 pumps each time I want foundation or a full face worth of foundation, then wouldn't the bottle finish quicker than using 1 pump from another foundation? So I don't know, just something to keep in mind. So I'm gonna go for the 3rd pump now, and hopefully this will fully cover all the areas of my face. This time I'm just gonna apply it to the center of my face, like my nose, around my mouth, and on my forehead. I just feel like the little areas are good for the beauty blender. Alright, so I applied the foundation and I know it kind of looks like ghostly. I still have to do the rest of my makeup. But my initial thoughts now that I applied the foundation fully on my face, so like I said before, I wouldn't dot it around the face. I would work section by section. It dries matte, and it dries matte really quickly. I think the foundation would be really, really good for oily skin girls, like perfect for oily skin girls. I'm not sure if I would 100% recommend it for dry skin. I personally am combination to dry skin and I like it, but if you are dry skin and looking for like a dewy or glowy skin look, you're not going to get it from this foundation. This dries matte for sure, and it dried really quickly on the face. It's as if like it absorbed into the skin really fast. In terms of coverage, the foundation claims to be full coverage. It does provide a lot of coverage, but, and this is a big but, I had to use 3 pumps of foundation to achieve this look. Like 1 pump of foundation wasn't going to cover my entire face, and usually when it comes to other foundations, like I said before, I'm able to just use 1 pump of a full coverage foundation, and it'll pretty much cover my whole face. And if anything, if I need a little bit more, it would be like 1.5 at most. So the fact that I have to use so many pumps, like section by section, in order to get this like medium to full coverage, I wouldn't say it's like full coverage, because I still do see my like acne scars. It's still seeping through, so I would probably need to go back with a little bit more foundation just in those areas, which means it would be like 3.5 pumps. So I don't know if I would want to use so many pumps, because it just kind of feels like a waste. But in terms of its consistency and the application, I'm gonna give it a plus, because it was pretty easy to apply, other than the fact that it dried up fast. I almost never have a problem using my beauty blender to apply foundations and to blend it out, but with this foundation I found it a little difficult to blend with my beauty blender for some reason. I can't believe that I'm even saying that, because it's like the easiest thing to use, or the easiest tool to use to blend out all types of like foundations, or all types of consistencies. And I also like the finishing of the foundation also with a foundation brush. So yeah, those were my initial thoughts so far. I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face and see how the rest of my makeup sits and how it blends, and I will be back to let you know the rest of my thoughts. Hi guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and did my full face of makeup, and as I was applying all my makeup, I didn't have any issue except for applying concealer. So for some reason, as I was applying my under eye concealer, I was noticing that it was hard to blend that concealer, and I didn't have, like, I never had issues with that particular concealer with other foundations. So I was wondering why it was so hard to like blend it. It was just like stick into one place. And as I was trying to blend it out, the concealer would get really dry and like ashy and flaky. So I don't know. That was the only issue that I had, to be honest. Any other like makeup that I was trying to blend, like my bronzer and my blush and everything like that, went on fine. I didn't have a problem. It blends really easily, and the finishing also, it's like really it's just nice. Like it doesn't even feel, it's not transferable. I didn't need to set it with much else. I didn't need a powder foundation on top of it or anything. I would say the foundation alone does a really good job at giving a really nice finish. And I think if I did set it with a powder foundation, it might look a little too dry. So I would just leave it as is. If anything, I would add like bronzer and like blush or other powders, but not powder foundation. So yeah, I think those are my final thoughts. Just going back to what the foundation claims to be. It claims to have a natural matte finish. So yeah, it definitely has a matte finish. In terms of like a natural matte finish, I don't know what is defined as a natural matte finish, because when you look at my face, it's obvious that I have foundation on. I don't think this would be like a no foundation look. You could definitely tell that I do have foundation. It's not cakey. That's the one thing that I really like, is that even though I ended up having to use 3 pumps just to cover my whole face, it does not look cakey at all. It actually looks very like, I don't know, it like soaks and absorbs into the skin, that it doesn't, the more that you add, it doesn't look like it's layered. It just feels like it naturally absorbs into the skin. So I guess I would say that that claim is true. It does have a natural matte finish in the sense that it doesn't look cakey, but at the same time it wouldn't be like a natural no makeup look. So I think there's like a good in between. And then it talks about how it prevents premature aging of the skin, but I think that's something that you would have to see long term, like after using this for a while, to see if it really does help with premature aging. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that they claim. They describe it as a creamy liquid foundation. I wouldn't say creamy so much, but definitely liquid. Like I said, it's very liquidy. And apparently it improves the skin texture by promoting cell turnover, like the ingredients in the foundation. So it's good to know. It's really actually good to know that bareMinerals is coming out with like products and foundations with more natural ingredients. I feel like every brand should be doing that at this point. Like no brand should be using parabens or like ingredients that we can't really pronounce and are harmful for our skin, you know? It's just ridiculous, I feel like, that brands have to market themselves by saying no parabens and no like sulfates and no all these harmful ingredients in order to get consumers to buy it, because like this should be something that should be across the board. Like no brand should ever be using any type of harm or harmful chemicals for anyone to be using it on their skin. Skin is the biggest organ, and to think that those ingredients suck in and absorb straight into our bodies, it's kind of sad. But anyway, I didn't mean to rant on. It gets me so upset to think about the fact that brands think it's okay or continue to use harmful ingredients. So big ups to bareMinerals. Definitely give them props for using more natural ingredients. And I believe they're also vegan, and I also believe that they don't test on animals, but I think their parent company unfortunately does, which is Shiseido, I believe. But yeah, that was my honest review and opinion. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate the support. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.